Let's pivot into some college basketball, though, Brett. That's where you and I have some more picks. We're each on two different games. A big night in the Big Ten, too.
Yeah, big night in the Big Ten, lots of action. But Iowa and Michigan's probably the headliner here, Higgins.
Yes, this is going to be a very fun game to watch. I was I wanted to be on a side of it, and for a while I had a hard time trying to find the side that I wanted to be on because I really do like Luca Garza with Iowa, and I think if he has an on night, he is capable of outperforming anybody on the floor, really. And Michigan does have their young freshman down low, but we'll see how he handles a senior. That being said, though, I am going to bet on the Wolverines. I'm going to take them -4 in this position, and that's because Michigan has been fantastic against the spread this season. They're at the top of the Big Ten. They're one of the best teams in college basketball against the spread, 13-4. That is a 76.5% cover rate. And when they do cover, or on the season, they nearly cover by 4 full points. So Michigan at -4 feels pretty easy to me, considering that while I agree this is going to be a very close game, I wouldn't I wouldn't be nearly as confident on Michigan if I found that at 5.5, 6. I like 4 though. 4 is a nice number. It's just outside of one possession, and it's down the stretch. If it got to fouls, 4 is an easy number to cover.
All right, I think that's in play. I didn't have a strong enough feel on it, Higgins. I think, like you said, I think this is going to be a great game. Iowa's a very talented team, kind of underachieved a little bit this year. Michigan's been the class of the Big Ten. Illinois and Ohio State have played very well as well. So, lots of great teams in the Big Ten. I'm looking more towards the bottom of the Big Ten, Higgins. Northwestern travels to Minnesota. Sign me up. The Golden Gophers have a few wins. They beat Iowa this year. That's pretty good. They have some big wins, but they haven't been very good overall. I think they kind of are who we thought they were, to steal a line from Dennis Green. Uh, you
Did we let
know,
him off the hook?
we, I mean, I'll let them off the hook. I wasn't betting on them to do very much this year. They killed me in one Iowa game, but other than
Well,
that,
the books let him off the hook. The line's only 5.
books let them off the hook. Yeah, I think Northwestern's bad. I, I don't say that like really often, Higgins, but eesh. So I like Minnesota in this spot. I like Jamal Mashburn Jr., Marcus Carr, those guards to carry the way, and Minnesota will get it done here. -5. I like it on the spread. Sorry.
Okay. Both of these teams are just under 500 on against the spread, by the way, this season. So it really is a toss-up. Like, they're both just under 500 on the spread. I'm gonna keep it in the Big Ten for one more pick, though, Brett, because, like I said, it is a big night in the Big Ten. There's a lot of good matchups. Ohio State at Michigan State. You talked about the bottom of the Big Ten. Well, let's talk about the bottom of the Big Ten. Michigan State. Not only have they underperformed expectations this year, they're not at the bottom in terms of the standing. That's Nebraska, who only has one conference win on the season. Nebraska has not played great at all. Michigan State, though, when it comes to against the spread, in the Big Ten is at the bottom of the conference. They've only covered 6 of their 21 games. Ohio State has covered 14 of their 23 games. Ohio State is second in the Big Ten in terms of covering the spread, going against the spread. Like I said, Michigan State's at the very bottom. So this just feels like a year that the Spartans are mailing it in. The Buckeyes are hungry. They are playing for seeding and positioning in terms of the uh, Big Ten conference tournament. So this game means a lot more for one team than it means for the other. And at -4.5, Ohio State is a much different team than Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's been really good this year, Higgins, and Michigan State, as you mentioned, has really underperformed expectations. And I think, Ohio State's still going to get up for Michigan State. Like sometimes in college, it is a little bit about the name on the front of the jersey. And in this case, Michigan State, like these kids, some of them might not have gotten recruited by Michigan State, and now they're on the better team. So they're gonna look forward to this opportunity to maybe stick it to Coach Izzo, and I could definitely see Ohio State covering this one.
Now, obviously, I would love for Michigan and Ohio State to cover, since I'm on both of those fan bases. Probably hate hearing me say that, considering they are bitter rivals. But Michigan is leading the Big Ten in the conference standings, but they only have a game and a half over Ohio State. Ohio State's sitting in third with Illinois just a game back of Michigan. So these last few games in the regular season before this conference tournament, I believe some teams have two, other teams maybe have three. Big seeding implications. Those teams are gonna get up for this, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard to say because the Big Ten tournament's at a neutral site, so it's hard to like say like how much being the one seed's really going to impact. But obviously, you want the easiest path, so I guess you want to be the one seed. But I, I'll tell you what, I'll take Michigan to come out of the Big Ten tourney. Probably regardless of seed Higgins. They're that good. They're really that good. They've got six guys averaging more than 8 points a game. They're pretty much led by upperclassmen, which is rare in college basketball, I guess. I don't know. The transfers make it so it's not as rare, but it feels like it's rare for these big programs, right? Like, how many times do you see seniors at Kentucky?
I know what you mean, but let's jump out of the Big Ten. We've talked about that enough, and we're going to head a little west because you do like a matchup in the Pac 12, but it's not your auto fade against Washington that we know and love.
No, Washington is actually playing on Thursday night as well. Hold
Against
on.
Arizona State.
Yeah, against Arizona State, who just blew them out. So I did not want to just fade Washington again, coming off a blowout to the same team. But this Wazoo bet makes a lot of sense because Zona's really good and Washington State's kind of up and down. Arizona's also got a postseason ban, so for some of these players, this is their last chance to get seen because they will not be playing in the Pac 12 tournament or the NCAA tournament. Those are postseason tournaments. Um, so, these guys only have a few games left in their season. They're one of the better teams in the Pac 12 that, won't be able to play in the postseason, Higgins. And I think they'll kind of take that to heart and maybe close out the season on a little bit of a hot streak. I'm going to be betting Zona to the end of the season, probably.
Against the spread or on the money line?
Yeah, just against this. I mean, I like taking points either way. But I'll always take Zona with the points just till the end of the season because I think they're gonna be motivated. Like James Akinjo, like maybe he wants to go to the NBA. Like put some good game on film.
That makes sense. Now, one thing I would warn you of, though, is Arizona is the second worst team against the spread in the Pac 12, second only to their state rival, Arizona State. Washington State, excuse me, is one of four Pac 12 programs that actually has an above 500 record against the spread. So just something to be wary of with that 9 point spread, which seems a little large to me.
Yeah, no, that's really good to point out, Higgins. And nine's a big spread, but Nebraska's 17-point dogs on tomorrow Thursday night as well. So these things can get crazy in college basketball. I think Gonzaga's up to 34-point favorites. So there are way bigger lines you could find, and maybe if you look at all that, the nine becomes a little bit easier to swallow.
Absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned the Nebraska game. Illinois is hosting Nebraska, who just got shocked by Michigan State, by the way. I would expect a rebound by the Fighting Illini, but 17 points? That's a big cover. That's a big number. I'm not sure if I'm sold on that, even with Nebraska having only won one conference game. USC, Colorado. USC's played fantastic, and they're 2.5-point underdogs in Boulder. My eyes on that game. I haven't been able to pull my trigger yet, but these are the reasons why you should be following us on social media. At MBBPod on Twitter, at NextBestBet on Instagram, and the Next Best Bet Facebook page and YouTube channel, because we do have other picks outside of this podcast, and we do post those on our socials because we only have our podcast for 2 weeks or 2 episodes a week, right, Brett?
Yeah, and I mean, make sure you're following my guy Jake on TikTok. He's got the TikTok picks going. He's all over the place.
Yes, I did mention that a couple episodes ago. I was thinking about starting the TikTok thing. I'm posting on my own personal TikTok page, sharing it on our Next Best Bet pages as well, though. And it's been going okay so far. But you got to start somewhere. So that's where we're at right
How
now.
are the dance moves? Are those coming along?
Maybe I need to bring in some dancing to get some more views, because I haven't done that yet. Maybe I need to get my views up with some dances.
Bring in the dancing lobsters.
Exactly.